on Zimnet Radio.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
You're listening to Zimbabwe's finest radio station, broadcasting worldwide. Zimnet Radio, the people's choice. Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com. We play the music you love to hear.
Tune in every Friday. Elisha's Happy's Show from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's your number one gospel show with your DJ, Dinte, on Zimnet Radio.
Lleno de matero, como bendita, ahora es en este curo llegue rebano, cote matendo sacando, padara es amno tenga, nenzira sacanaka, Samunenge matora badara izamnotenga nenzira zatanaka moto Samunenge matora tesare tinotora Zeno de macedo Zotera zeno Zotura como ahora es en este curo llegue verano, cote más de sacando, tiza de chupumbe, mondo venga, tesa se va sungwa, batine tabata, tiza de chupumbe, mondo venga, tesa se va sungwa, batine tabata, tesa tinotora, lleno de macero, será ese nosotros, como vengueta, ahora es en este curo, llene rebano, cote más
Hello.
Right, hello. Right. Maswera say Muria Zimbabwe. Shatakuta Panapaka. It's 4 minutes gone after the hour of 10. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like I promised last time. Again, I saw Mukoma Jeff, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes. Can you not put a video on it? Just call as a call, not a video, please. Yeah. Saka mukabvisa video kamungoita phone in as normal, pasina video. Yeah, I think you've done it now. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Now, Mukoma Jeff Maswera say.
That's good, Kanjan.
Hi, Sterek, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks.
Yeah, I believe you are in the UK.
Sorry, come again.
I believe you are in the UK.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Now, last week we were talking about repatriation of remains to Zimbabwe and all that. And you came to my WhatsApp and said you might be able to help some fellow Zimbabweans in the UK that would like some kind of policies to take their deceased loved ones back home to Zimbabwe. Would you like to maybe explain to us how that works out?
I work for the Diaspora Funeral Cash Plan, which is a policy which is underwritten by Zimnat of Zimbabwe and Sanlam of South Africa. That policy is a cash plan which pays cash within 24 hours after someone has passed on, either here or at home. It is designed for the diaspora communities. How do I say that? One can insure anyone who is Zimbabwean, no matter where they are living. Meaning that, whenever, you might know that whenever there's a death at home, most of the times they'll say, if you phone them, people in the diaspora, because we have always been handy, ready to help them. But at times we won't be having the money. So you can actually insure your people. When you're in the diaspora, you can insure your parents, you can insure your brothers, your sisters who are at home, or if you've got children in Russia, studying there, in China, in Ukraine, in Cyprus, you can insure them. So in a situation where they die, wherever they are, cash is paid within 24 hours and they are repatriated back home or buried wherever they are using that cash. If it's in the UK, for example, if someone passes on here and they were insured with us, we pay cash within 24 hours. Then the survivors decide whether to repatriate the body back to Zimbabwe using that money. You're working with CJRL, who is almost 99% of the deceased people from here to Zimbabwe. And they use the same money, the part of the money, to do any other issue, to deal with other issues like carrying stuff for the deceased back home, to buy tickets for people to accompany the body, and to use that money to contract local and takers to bury the person in Murewa, in Choloton, wherever they want. So basically, what am I saying? I'm saying you can insure anybody who is below 75. We don't ask for any medical history or take people through medical. Anybody who applies is accepted, and we pay within 24 hours. You can cover your people in the diaspora, your family. You can cover people at home or anywhere in the world. Or a situation where let me just quickly say, diasporians are very mobile. They go on holidays in Australia to see friends, to just visit Niagara Falls in Canada, in America. You can die us there. This policy pays no matter wherever you are, because it's permanently denominated in American dollars, and the American dollar is the most widely accepted currency in the world. So we are assured, no matter where our custom client dies, we're able to send money there within 24 hours.
Let's maybe ask you a few questions, Mkoma. So what are we talking here? How much are we talking? How much do you pay out?
Right. For people in the SADC region, the maximum cover is 5,000. It is pegged on that because even if someone dies in Cape Town, with $5,000, you'll be able to carry the body to Zimbabwe. Hello?
Yes, we are hearing you. Please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Right. It's pegged at that level because with $5,000, you'll be able to carry the body from Cape Town or, from Mozambique, from Angola, and get the body buried wherever, in Toko or in Lopane, right? If it is in the diaspora, the maximum cover which you can cover one life for is 20,000. But we know very well that for people in the UK, with $10,000 cover, it's enough to bury somebody here because it's about £6,000, or to repatriate the body, because to repatriate a body up to the airport is about £2,700, right? With a cover of $10,000 is equivalent to about £8,000. You still have about £5,000 left. You can use that money to buy tickets for accompanying people and carry a bit of stuff for the person who is passed on, and also use that money for any other incidentals which can be needed.
All right. Thank you so much, Mkoma Jeff. Now, how much are we talking here per month, per head? Let's say I want to insure my 2 children and my wife at home there. how much are we talking here for 4 people? For argument's sake.
It varies. What does it depend on? It depends on someone's age, right? It depends on the coverage they're taking, how much it is. Are they taking 5,000, 10,000, 15 or 20,000? And how many are the lives which are being covered? So it's an individual to individual situation.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
If you want to an indication, my son, who is 5 years, who I took a policy when he was 4 years old, pays about £4 a month, right? Because I'm an old Madala, getting to Mugabe's age, I pay about £35 for the same cover of 10,000 because I'm much, much older than my son.
Now, I don't know, Mkoma. Yes, it's clear. I don't know, Mkoma. Now, for the argument's sake of people, Kanamunguti, you are at the age of old Madara Mugabe. Can you tell us your exact age so that people can maybe
I took the police I took the police when I was 55.
Right. Okay.
And I pay about I am, and the premium does not change. The fact that I'm growing old.
Yeah.
The time it pegged at the time when I took the policy, which is why it is important for young people who are around the 20 or so to take policy straight away, right? Because it will be almost half, if not less, much pays half of what I'm paying myself, because premiums are much lower when you are younger.
All right. Okay. That's very nice indeed. Thank you so much, Nkoma. I think we haven't got much time, but what I'm going to do is, so if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do? I know I've got your number, but how do they get a hold of you?
Just give them my number, my WhatsApp number. They can contact me anytime.
Okay, all right. So whoever wants Mkoma's number. So kune Mkoma wakanga wari ku America last week pano wakanga wari ku Tanzi. You can, if you can help people in America as well. It looks like you can, isn't it?
Yes, I've insured people in America. We've insured people in Canada. We've insured people in Australia.
All right. Okay.
Right. And on the contact, people can also reach me on Jeff Sang on my Facebook, and I'll always respond.
Always respond to that. Right. Mkoma Jeff Sang Watinawa. Right. Mkoma, I'm going to work with you. So what I would do is, I don't know, we do talk politics here. So we want to jump on to our political discussion tonight. So it's up to you really. I mean, if you want to stay on and listen to the debate or even participate, you can. But if you don't want that, you can, excuse yourself and listen to the human who said. But I think I'll be in touch with you in the near future, because I mean, people would want to know more about what is this all about, and people might want to take the policies. Then you can help them.
I'll stay tuned in. I'm very interested in the politics. If you check my live programs, you'll find that I'm talking a lot of politics these days. I'm
fantastic.
Very interested in that. So I'll just listen in.
All right, fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, Zimbabwe Nature, for those of you who have got any questions or anything you want to know about this policy, because last week as such, but it's very unfortunate when people start asking for money when someone has died, for this. This can be helped. Instead of going to McDonald's and take a Big Mac, pega fish and chips on a Friday, a £4, £5, a month can actually cover, mana and the rest of it a month. And you never know when the rainy day comes, when you need this. So it depends then it depends from there with the age as well and all that. Thank you so much for that, Nkoma. If anyone wants any details about that, you can get hold of me. My WhatsApp number 079-844-55349. That's 079-844-55349. Right, let me welcome the rest of the panel for today. Nkoma Benford to America, welcome to the show.
Makadiko DJ Sodza.
Tinofara Cho says very nice to have you on the show today.
No, tinotenda. Ndinofunga kuti rushinji rweZimbabwe ruri kufarawo panguva yatine.
You understand that song. Sali South Africa, can you hear me loud and clear there?
Oh, tonight, your voice is magnificent.
Not as sexy as Teach's voice, but at least you can hear what I'm trying to say.
You see, I said magnificent. Now, if it was Titch, I would tell him it was absolutely sexy. You see?
I see. All right. Yeah. Thank you so much, Sally. Maybe that's it. Where is Sekuru?
I don't know. I was talking to him. I just messaged him and tell him to come to radio.
Yeah, maybe he's fearing because he bet that Germany is gonna win the World Cup, so maybe he's hiding behind the laptop tonight.
No, I thought I had upset him.
Okay, God.
Rosie and I were talking behind the show, and I said some very, very dangerous words. And Sekuru said, you're talking about things I can't hear. So I had to message him first and see if he was all right and apologize if I'd upset him. And he burst out laughing and told me stop being stupid. And I said to him, right, radio. So, you see, I did my job.
Now, all right. Thank you, Sally. I'm going to take Rosie from America. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing?
Oh, lovely. Okay. Come a little bit. Manchester. It is saying Nasu.
Yeah, it's nice and warm here. Hello, everybody. Hello, Zimbabwe, wherever you are listening to the program tonight.
Fantastic. What Birmingham? Pakati pe nyika England. Kuri sei ku Midlands.
Aya kuno kwakanaka zvikuru makadi zvenyu DJ Sodza nemhuri yeZimbabwe kwese kwamuri kuno kuzvedu tinotekaira.
Aiwa tinofara chose. Maybe let me start with you up there. You saw the events that took place in Bulawayo on Saturday. There's a lot of conspiracy going around. Was it really a bomb?
Yeah, look, there have been a lot of speculations, but I think on a serious note, that was a bomb. It's an unfortunate development in our political landscape, because that's the first time we have such an incident. It target a political gathering, which is quite worrying. But was I surprised? Maybe not surprised. Because ZANU PF it's so much fragmented, and the way G40, they are very. You can see that they are very bitter people. I'm not saying that G40 ndo yakaita that incident. But I'm saying that ZANU PF ine enemies akati wande iyo pachezvayo, even the ones who are in power pachezvayo. Right? I would be surprised that it came from within that power matrix iripo parizvino. Because iyo pachezvayo has to run. So it is very unfortunate, and speaking on behalf of MDC and on my own behalf, we condemn such type of attack and terrorism. I think as Zimbabweans, we are known for being peace-loving, and since 1980, yes, we know that ZANU PF, even my institutions of violence, and so many people have been killed. So it might be that, we've got chickens coming back to roast. But I think as Zimbabweans, we must shun violence and try to use dialogue wherever is possible.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm trying to get hold of Nkoma Teach as well, because I've been following his Twitter and Facebook. He seems to differ. He said that wasn't a bomb which happened there.
DJ Sodza, can I just cap it with just one sentence? You could if ever this actually have awaken us to the fact you could assuming that ZANU PF rigama elections to the fact you could riga and then tora power by Hugo Krug, that the country is going to be ungovernable. Already that we can see kuti zvinhu zvinoitwa escalate. The only way forward ndeyekuti the will of the people must be respected. Credible, free and fair elections. Then things like that will disappear.
I would like to come back to you a bit later on that, because some people were saying that these are just shenanigans that are happening in ZANU PF to try and distract the shambolic voters' roll situation that we find ourselves on. But I'll come back to you a bit later on. I just want to hear from others as well what they think of it. Mkoma Wilbert, you saw what happened there. What came to your mind when that thing happened?
I think it actually is a very interesting development. I think the first thing I personally was surprised was that some of the people who were so quick at condemning the violence, although I condemn the violence, but if you justify the last November school on the grounds that that was the only way we were going to get Mugabe out, because he had been rigging elections all along, it begs us believe how you can still, with a straight face, condemn the bombing, because all this is doing is, this is an escalation. I believe it was within ZANU PF, one faction fighting another. So if one faction, the Lacoste, is fighting dirty by staging a coup, the other faction, the G40, is fighting dirty by throwing bombs. And that is the reality, and that is what we should be focusing on, that this is what Zimbabwe is. And if we believe the coup entered, changed ZANU PF's nature as a part of thugs, then we are very naive. But to come back to this issue of free and fair elections, I think President Mnangagwa had hoped that these elections, there would be no violence, and therefore then he could maybe get his legitimacy from there was no violence. And meanwhile, he refused to implement any reforms, and so he was able to rig the elections. We have got an election process that is going on right now, and we know there is no free public media. There is no clean, verifiable voters roll. The ZANU PF continues to rob the nation blind to bankroll its vote rigging activities. But all these things, ZANU PF is doing them, and is hoping that as long as there's no violence, nobody will pay attention to those. But now that incident last Saturday brought back the issue that even the violence within ZANU PF, he cannot contain it. And therefore then we are naive to think that this junta regime is getting us out of this mess. And I think I don't know whether some of you have seen it. He was interviewed by a BBC reporter there, and he was reminded that doesn't this show that Zimbabwe is politically unstable? And in typical ZANU PF arrogance, he said, no, Zimbabwe is the most stable country in the region. How can it be stable when 8 months ago we had a coup, and then 8 months later we get the state president being narrowly missed by a bomb? And if you seriously think investors are going to come to Zimbabwe thinking that Zimbabwe is politically stable, you are daydreaming. This is the reality we have in Zimbabwe. And as long as we have got a political system that does not allow for democratic, peaceful change of government, of those in power, and the only way to change those in power is either by a coup or a bomb, then that is what we are going to have. And I think Mnangagwa, if he can be as naive as he wants, but the reality of it is that the one last Saturday missed, but he can be rest assured that there is another bomb coming or another coup, because how else are you going to get him out if he's rigging the elections? And that is what all Zimbabweans out there should be seriously thinking about how are we going to get out of this mess without addressing this issue of free, fair, and credible elections.
Okay. Aiwa, thank you so much, Mkoma Wimpet, for that. Mkoma Benford, you saw what happened in Bulawayo. Nothing issue, there's no issue there, it was just maybe terrorists, is it?
DJ Sodza, pandakaona news jaja. What first came to my mind was it was a state development for our country. But at the end of the day, I was happy that when it happened to Mnangagwa. You can imagine if that was at Chamisa's rally, and Chamisa would have been missed by that bomb so close. You know, you can imagine how the international community would have been exploding right now. This election would already have been declared null and void, to the detriment and suffering of the people of Zimbabwe. So, in as much as it is a sad development in our politics, I was glad that it was Mnangagwa who was targeted, because at least it gives us hope that we can have this election, the people of Zimbabwe can choose a president of their choice, and we can look forward to a better Zimbabwe. Coming to Kuti Zvakaitwa Nani, I think, you know, at this stage, I would say let's give the police time to deal with this case.
Hang on, Benford, before you go any further there. Mnangagwa was on record. He gave interview to BBC, and he didn't mince his words there. He said that this was G40 trying to take him out.
Yeah, I listened to that interview as well, and I think there is some reasonable ground for him to make that that assertion. But the issue is, it could be G40, like you said, but is it organized G40? Is it an individual who was part of G40 or engaged at this decision on their own? So those are issues that needs to be answered later on. As for those people like the one that our teacher was saying, it wasn't a bomb, it wasn't blah 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 blah. I think what people need to realize is you can't stage manage an explosion, because once it detonates, you can't control. Explode that is why you find people like Muhadi, even Chwenga's wife was also almost injured by that thing. So to think that it was stage managed and it was, it wasn't a bomb, I think it's just being naive. And when you said it was Teach who was saying that, I'm not surprised, because remember when Kasuguere and Jonathan Moyo, the way he was talking on this show, he said they were already dead because he knows how guns work and blah 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 blah. It turned out that they were alive. So I'm not surprised that he was saying that. One other thing is that we also need to start to think deep about what will be happening in Africa. It is possible that we are having organized terrorists outside Africa coming to Africa. Look at what happened this week in Ethiopia. Almost at the same time when the bomb was exploding from Mnangagwa, another one exploded the prime minister of that country. Market Glenview agapiswa 2 days ago. Today there's a market ya piswa Kenya. So there are so many things we blinded in politics. We might allow terrorist organizations like Boko Haram, even the likes of shoot-offs and Al-Qaeda to penetrate Africa. Mozambique, we've started to see those trends, people being decapitated in Mozambique, something that was unheard of. So we need to be very careful. And what those people usually do, they begin by sitting confusion. In politics, imagine if Mnangagwa was made, was assassinated, Zimbabwe would have been chaotic. and that's how they get to establish their own ground. So while we give the police time to investigate, I think we need to look at this issue with an open mind and not just start pointing fingers at specific individuals. It's not evidence.
Okay, all right. Ndatenda zvangu contribution in. And so Chief Sose, what's happening with Chief Sose here? I'm trying to call Chief Sose, but he's not picking up the phone. So the problem really is not on my side. The problem is on your side, Chief Sose. I don't know what you have done with your system there. Maybe you want to log off and log on again. And please do not call my groups. Don't call my groups. Call Zimnet Main Radio on its own if you are listening. Right. Mkoma Jeff Muripo here.
I'm here.
Yes, Mkoma Jeff, you saw what happened in Bulawayo there. What's your take on that?
I would say it just shows the instability of a ZANU PF government, a possible ZANU PF government, like Febo said. Was it Febo said it or the other guy?
Yeah.
There is so much tension simmering in ZANU PF, and you when I look at the whole power matrix in ZANU PF right now. And if you look at the appointments which were done, then reversed, then you find Chiwenga remaining in charge of the army, which previously was under Mohadi. You can actually see a man who realizes that no matter what a commander-in-chief, who is a commander-in-chief, I am in charge of the soldiers. And the precedent has already happened where the commander or whoever is in charge of the army can do whatever they want to take power, whilst the commander-in-chief is there. So as far as I'm concerned, Mnangagwa is just a lame duck president. And it could be that he's hoping that he wins the election, then he can turn around to Chiwenga and his boys and say, look here, yes, you put me into this position, but now I'm an elected president. But again, that will sort of, the guys in the army, they were already, enjoying the power because they are the guys who are playing the game right now. So to take them out so early when they were feeling now they're in charge, there's going to be a lot of problems. I started to think what is going to happen after the election, because even if MDC wins, I can also see some shenanigans by the army trying to destabilize the government. So we are heading for times where, unless the African Union really comes forcibly on whoever is taking over, and especially the Zimbabwe army, because the way I read it is that when these guys staged a coup, they did a smart coup, right? They ran to the African Union and said, no, Mugabe is okay, don't even worry, we did not do a coup, we just, did whatever. And the African Union seemed to have been bored by that story. But quickly you see them coming to interview Mugabe, and Mugabe comes out clear and said this was a coup. And I think the fact that the African Union did not act that time in response to Mugabe's complaints was that they realized there was an election coming. And I can assure you it's not going to be that easy for this army to stage another coup and try to say it was not a coup again. So it's not going to be easy for them as well. So we are getting into the times which are makes us all very anxious.
These are turbulent times. Thank you so much, Nkoma, for that. Sekuru Maswera Sego.
Yes, Mzukuru.
Aha. Tirinani Joseph, thank you so much. Germany is gone.
Tonight I'm a substitute because we were E2 industry 101.
No, there's no substitutions. Takangopana 2 indakati France the Belgium. Imugati Germany and Spain. That's a discussion for another day. We cannot allow this cheating.
All right. Let's go.
Right. Batai makadaro mkova sekuru ndukudzoka pamuri manje. Mkoma tishi Maswera Sego.
Daswera mkoma Sodza, Maswera wenini.
Yeah, taswera zvedu. Amunonge makazondipa matimu enyu amuri kuti awine World Cup kai.
Tikungotarisira kaiyo Brazil.
Oh, okay, Brazil. Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. I'll come back to you shortly, you two there. I just want to go kuna Tete Rosie first. Tete Rosie, Chief Sose, I can't get hold of Chief Sose. He's not picking up his phone.
No.
Yeah, so I don't know where the problem is there.
No, okay, I don't know.
Now, what's your take? I know Kuti yourself, you've got you on the ground to Zimbabwe and apply all the information of what's happening here and there. To Mahunga, to negative critique. What are Mahunga saying on the bomb, alleged bomb in Bulawayo?
To be honest with you, everybody's confused about what's actually happening or what actually transpired. Or what they're in agreement is there was an explosion of some kind. They're not sure whether it was a bomb or what exactly was the explosion or who was actually responsible or whether ZANU PF itself was responsible for its own explosion.
Yeah, but the president came out and said that he knows who did this and this is G40, that are trying to take him out.
Well, I personally think it's extremely irresponsible for a whole president to sit there and make an accusation without providing proper proof. I think proper protocol, in cases like this, is for people to conduct an investigation unless someone comes forward and says, I was responsible. I was shocked because within an hour or two of the bomb happening, he was already touring the hospital. He was doing all kinds of things. He was appearing and you could see him. He went to see people. He went to do this. He wasn't really afraid for his life. I don't know whether that was supposed to be a show of I'm tough and I'm untouchable, whatever. But when it comes to ZANU PF, I have zero sympathy for mnangagwa, the whole ZANU PF clan. My thoughts, and I'm going to be honest, I won't believe anything until I see mnangagwa Chiwenga dropping into something is real. I was waiting for a main actor to drop, and until those guys drop, and no one will be shedding tears, and then I'm an anti-violence. Violence is serious, but things have gotten to a point in Zimbabwe where you see people literally rigging an election in front of you, and you ask yourself, and I've heard vanhu vari kuZimbabwe vanhu vaya vari non-violent, vanhu vasina kana kuti vanoita sei vachitoti ndakaona mamwe majokes ainyorwa nevanhu hanzi chii hanzi Zimbabwe yanga yasununguka but Satana afamba nhasi. That should tell you people were not even sympathetic. People were actually sad that nothing of serious consequence happened to the main people. Because people are tired. People are tired of ZANU PF, and that's a fact. People right now, just like I speak, and how I am about democratic processes and how I was standing with Chamisa Akaita is really wrong all the time. But at this point, don't you want to Chamisa is better than nothing? Better than this BS that we see. These people want to rig another election. And if they rig another election, there's no telling how people are going to react this time. Because people do not have a majority to win a free and fair election in Zimbabwe. And I'm not even concerned. Unless one of them drops dead, then I'll believe it. It's not them. But until then, if Mnangagwa and Chiwenga are still running around town talking about people bombing, that's all right. I'm really not concerned, and I really don't care. I'm not going to I will be the first one to tell you, it's always very sad when someone dies. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm going to cry. Okay, all right. They have terrorized enough people in that country. They've killed so many people. It's just sad that they're not men enough to just walk away and give people their freedom. they should respect Zimbabweans and just walk away. Because it's time to just walk away and let the country have free and fair elections and give somebody else a chance. Because Taneta Nemi.
All right. The message is very clear there, Teterosi. Lapenda to South Africa, kuna Sally. Sally, you saw what happened. What's your interpretation of it?
As soon as I found out that people didn't die by the hundreds, okay, I kind of laughed, because this is, for me, it's got Mnangagwa stamped all over it from beginning to end. Number one, if that was a bomb, that whole cabal that was there, okay, would have been seriously injured. Some of them would have been killed. When you see what a bomb does and how it explodes, okay, I'm sorry, that wasn't a bomb.
Take off with the pen, it's wet.
Okay, that wasn't a bomb. There were so many, you see, around that area where that bomb went off, there was a whole group of people. I mean, even if you'd thrown a grenade in there, okay, into that group, into the middle of the group, and somebody had thrown a grenade in there, there would have been people killed. Okay? The flag that was flying, not the flag, those stand things with like a flag thing on it, okay? Long thingy. I mean, it didn't even, it just fluttered a little bit and that was it. It wasn't torn, it didn't take off into the misty blue yonder, nothing. It just stayed there and went, and that was it. This for me is Mnangagwa. This is, it's got Mnangagwa's fingerprints all over it. You cause complete and utter confusion that you don't know what's happened, you don't know who did it, and all this kind of business, okay? And then he will start flinging the blame around everywhere, okay? So people are sort of standing there and thinking, well, what the hell happened? This is him. This is what he does. This is what he's been doing for 40 years. Okay, this is it's his profession. To tell me that somebody was involved in that, well, look, if the army did it, a section of the army did it, they're damn useless. Okay, because if they can't tell exactly what is now going to really injure people and kill people, okay, if they can't tell that, then hey, what are they doing in the army? Okay, so I'm sorry, I don't believe the army did it, because then it means that I must believe that the army is just completely.
So anyway, so Sally, to be clear, you think this was staged yes, by Mnangagwa to use it as propaganda?
Of course, it was staged to the T. My problem is, why did he stage it in Bulawayo? You mustn't forget Mnangagwa's history in Matabele land, okay? Don't forget that. Don't forget either that he had just been to North Korea a while before this, okay? You see, I can't get away from the fact that the man doesn't change. A leopard doesn't change his spots. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't change its spots.
Yeah, but this is a man who came out saying that he's as soft as wool.
That's Mnangagwa, man. Come on.
Right.
Do you know how you know when Mnangagwa's lying? When his lips are moving. And don't forget, he's been doing this for years. People mysteriously have car accidents on railway lines. They hit trains that haven't run on that railway line for 20 years. But I swear it hit the train and the guy gets killed, okay? And suddenly a car will go flying into a tree, okay? When the car was hardly even moving. All these kinds of things. This is his, how can I say this? It's his profession.
Oh.
I mean, I never thought of anybody else. And then somebody said to me, it's Boko Haram. Well, that was me finished.
Yeah.
That was me finished, okay? I mean, this is mnangagwa to the T.
All right.
My problem is I don't know why he did it, and I don't know when he does something, it's a signal, okay? It's a sign. Why he did it in Bulawayo, that's what worries me.
That's what worries
me a lot.
Okay. Yeah. All right, Sally. Thank you so much for that. Mkomatich, it looks like you were confused, as many people, or maybe not. I was following you very closely, and you thought this was just an electric short circuit or overload or something like that. But one of my brother, who is a top electrician, said that it couldn't have been a short circuit. It must be you said it was an overload. He said it couldn't have been an overload. It could have been a short circuit. I don't know, Mkomatich. What's your interpretation of it now?
Hello, Magadi is in you.
Hello, sweetheart.
I like the way people want to carry on putting words in my mouth.
Okay.
First and foremost, when we assessed the video, the question was it a bomb, was it an accident? And the initial assessment I did, which everyone I would have expected to do, was that immediately as the explosion went, it happened under the portal, the corner of the portal. And I showed that on slow motion on video. And I also showed that the sound immediately stopped. The PA went off. There was no more which was playing as mnangagwa was leaving, as they normally do. So to me, that is when I say very likely an electrical explosion or the short circuit explosion. That is. However, 24 hours later, we did another forensic assessment of the video, and I've just sent a copy to the group, which clearly shows the grenade as it rolled on the floor, and one of the security guys trying to pick it up, but it was too late. It exploded. There's a slow-mo video that clearly shows no one can pick it up. That's definitely a grenade attack. Whether it's staged or not is neither here nor there. Whether it was targeted at Kiwenga by the mnangagwa faction of the two ruling factions now. Three factions. The Mugabe or so-called G40 faction of loyalists, then the mnangagwa faction, the Lacoste, and then the Costly faction, the businessmen, general, their business, how they make the money, how they run it. From PRC, where you have the cost, and this all the company or company, that people know that Africa
Mkomatich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening there. Guys on the panel, can you hear what Mkomatich is saying?
No, it's not. It's cutting.
It's fading in and out.
Yeah, there's a problem there, Mkomatich. I don't know whether it's your mic or what's happening there.
I can hear you loud and clear. I have no problem at all from this end.
Now we can hear you. Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yeah, now you're okay.
It's gonna be there. I haven't done anything. Anyway, what I was saying is, as the point of discussion, I just wanted to make it clear that it was a grenade, and that is there on the video. And I sent you guys the video to also have a look in slow motion. You can see one of the security guys actually tried to pick it up, and he's the guy that took the full blast. In the process, stopped shrapnel going to Mrs. Chiway. It's very vivid, it's clear, you can see. So there's no question about whether it was a bomb or not. It definitely was. net and it was thrown by someone from the crowd that was nearest the podium. So that is the issue. Postulating about who could have done it is a very broad spectrum. At the moment, I don't think G40 have got that capacity, nor would any individual take the risk to be there, which leaves us with the two competing factions, the mnangagwa Lacoste faction and the military Postler faction, which is the generals' businesses. So at the end of the day, you have to say to yourself, it's clear that what we always had in the liberation struggle, where people eliminated each other for leadership, where tribal issues came to the fore to try to wrestle the top positions from any domination by this particular tribe, and once this particular tribe went in, the other tribe came in and always tried to push them out. This has been the ZANU PF modus operandi, and that's what we now have fully fledged with the military getting involved on the faction Yela Costa to have a political face. And if that political face decides not to toe the line, the fissure are going to arise where they can't agree themselves. Then there's a problem. There is an issue where Chiwenga would expect the cost would forever be grateful to him for rescuing them when they were being annihilated and then elevating. So they cannot really talk down to the general. There's no chance that mnangagwa will dominate. No chance ever. Generals expect to be calling the shots, but the risk that they face right now is once mnangagwa is legitimized by an election, if they retire, it becomes civilian, and he can then build new loyalty in the military. Yes, it's civil to operate, because right now the military is made by people from the Midlands. The CDF Valerio Spanish, the commander of the Air Force, is the brother to the commander of the Air Force is now the Director General of the Central
it's going now.
Yeah, sorry. Which only now leaves Zaire Chimonyo as the commander of the army, as the only person in the security services who is not from the Midlands. That is a problem that Chiwenga, Sibusiso Moyo, Parents and Co. will have to contend with, because once they are civilians and the mnangagwa gets new loyalties in the military, he doesn't need them anymore. There's a problem.
Right. Okay. Mukomatichi haven't sent the video to people here to the group yet, so we are still waiting for it. You did? I haven't seen it.
No, it's not. I checked it. It's not there, my dear.
I sent it to Zimnet.
Yeah.
Oh, to Zimnet. Oh, I thought you'd sent it to our group on WhatsApp.
Yeah, I sent it to the group. I'm not on WhatsApp anymore.
Oh, okay.
I thought I sent it on Skype.
Oh, to Skype.
Ah, okay, cool.
Okay.
I sent it to Zimnet Skype.
Okay, cool.
All right. Okay, it's fine. If you send it, that's fine. All right. Sekuru.
Yo, Mzukuru.
Sekuru. Makuna akaitika Bulawayo.
Hapana zvakaitika Bulawayo vanhu vari kutamba ngiri nemuswa wasekuru wavo.
Aha, titsanangudzirei Sekuru kuti what really took place there?
Well, it's so simple to see. This election, Mnangagwa strategy and Mnangagwa strategy as a policy thrust has been to appease the outside nations that there is going to be a free and a fair election in Zimbabwe. And so far he had achieved to maintain what you would think was a free and fair environment. But then is that policy a party policy or his personal policy? That's one question. The second question is the election free and fair just because there is no violence? That's another. The issue is, as long as those conditions prevail, Mnangagwa will be seen to be conducting a free and fair, or conditions prevailing of a free and fair election. But it's not free and fair election. So Mnangagwa decides now that he is going to Bulawayo to show that he is projecting a free, he is gunning for a free and fair election, but there are people in the other parties that are against free and fair election. He goes and stages this killing act which kills some people, but it happens right in front of his feet, and he doesn't get injured. What is that? The minute the explosion takes place, he is seen walking around and he is seen in hospitals visiting the people he is bombed and killed or injured. And all this is crocodile tears, like his name is the crocodile. He's shedding crocodile tears. So in my own view, nothing really happened. It's exactly what it was, an act of astroturfing intended to convince the international community that the president or the presidential candidate from ZANU is coming for peace, and the people in Zimbabwe don't want peace. So as far as I'm concerned, it's an act of brutality which is camouflaged by a brutal person, and I am not going to give a damn what they say in ZANU PF or in MDC or what. All I can tell you is that this was a stage managed event, and unfortunately it has cost us a few innocent lives, and that should not happen in an election.
Sekuru, I don't know, maybe from naivety that I've got. Do you think in Zimbabwe, people like G40 or people like MDC or any other parties in Zimbabwe have got a capacity to throw a grenade there?
Or in Zimbabwe, there are a lot of foolish people with the capabilities of doing very foolish things. But yeah, but they can do anything. You can see how easily fooled they are. They are to support something that they don't even understand. You can see how foolish they act when something happens. So that cannot be written off. That there are people with the vendettas against Mnangagwa, personal vendettas and political vendettas. That cannot be ruled out. They can be fooled to do anything. Others can be bought. You can see Shakatwa kuna ulifana akapata wati 15,000 na wende kutanyarara. Akatonyarara akutokambi. Akapuwa 15,000 akakanyarara. So money can change attitudes in Zimbabwe very quickly.
That's what poverty does to you. Yeah?
Yeah. So when you say, do you think in Zimbabwe there are people with capabilities to do that? Yes, there are plenty of them.
No, what I mean, Sekuru, is not capability to throw that grenade, but to actually get hold of that grenade.
Yes, there are plenty of grenades elsewhere. In ZANU, if you do, why do people in ZANU brandish guns at a very inopportune times? Where do you think they get them from?
Okay. All right. Are you still there, Sebu?
Yes, I am there. I am saying my point is in ZANU, the system is so well knit that it is possible to get a grenade straight from the armory of the military, and they use it at a public gathering. It's quite possible for that to happen because the command structure in ZANU is the command structure in the army.
But in your mind, you've got no doubt whatsoever this was directed by Mnangagwa for his own strategy.
That is 100% within my mind, and I can assure you, any investigation that doesn't come to that conclusion is a cooked investigation. And eventually, when somebody revisits the area, it will be discovered that it was actually an internal ZANU PF problem.
All right. Aiwa, Sekuru tinofara chose nemashoko yenyu. When I sent out the message tonight, about 4 or 5 hours ago, that's what we were going to discuss. A couple of your Sukuru wrote to me and said, we want to hear what Sekuru had to say about this. So I'm sure, guys, you have heard what Sekuru had to say about it. Chief Soshima Svera Seiko kwa America.
Ndaswera DJ kana maswerawo.
Ndine urombo mangu kutadza kupinda area one.
Kokutembera kunombogogodza here kuti ndauya. Panenge pana nasekuru vairi pana.
Welcome to the group of the elders.
Ndazofonera technician wangu, ndina private technician wangu. Mwana wangu musikana ndiye azoti dedi madi hanzi kuibvisa moidzosera futi zvakare app yenyi. Ndobva ndazoita izvozvo ndikatoona zvaakutoita.
Right. Let me also, before you give your answer, let me also say kuti I can see now a lot of people like Salina and Mkomatich, they are now trying to say, oh, Brazil, but it is clear you said Brazil before any ball was hit.
I said Brazil from the beginning.
Please.
I don't care. Even if it doesn't win, it's still my team.
Yes. Right. What's going on?
I don't know. Not me.
And this is what pane kurikubva noise, but I can't tell kuti ndekupi. I think it's Mkomatich. I just dropped Mkomatich. I think it's Mkomatich kurikubva noise. Okay. Chief Soshe, what happened in Bulawayo? What did you make of it?
Handikuziva kuti mataura nyaya yangu here last week. Ndachido nhamba dzevanhu vaya kana vakwanisa kupinda.
Yes, vapinda vakatotsanangudzira everything. They can sort you out wherever you are in the world. So I will pass on the number to you, then you can speak to him direct.
Good. Magona. Thank you so much for that. Nyaya yekubhurayo yakaoma. To be honest with you, I cannot tell you exactly who did it, but whoever did it, to be honest with you again, I don't care, because indaitotuka mwari pane mambo kuti notuka naye baba madii mangoti zvibva zvangopera taratoti dambudziko reZimbabwe rapera. Dai vakangorova vakabva varova vese, nekuti kana ranga riri ropa ranga richadeuka, ranga risiri muropa reopa, ranga risiri maoko eopposition. This would never be put on opposition, and I don't think even ED himself would try and do that. He might try and do it, but it's not going to stick. If there is anyone who did it, it has to be someone who has connections with ZANU PF, and most possibly a former soldier or a soldier or a CIO, and I think it might most likely be CIOs, because those guys are very frustrated. They've been sidelined by the new dispensation. They don't even know what they're supposed to do, in Zimbabwe. Their roles have been, heavily curtailed. So I would think it can be them who are frustrated, and I would also want to go maybe with what Sekuru was saying, that it was something that he could have orchestrated himself, but I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about are the implications of this whole thing, and the implications are huge. The biggest implication from this is Mnangagwa is going to take advantage of this. He's going to make a meal out of this. And ZANU PF is very good at taking advantage of situations. And, you can tell here where it's going. Let's not forget that Mnangagwa is the very same person who was VP and his office was broken into 3 times. And he's also the very same person who survived a poisoning attack. So all those attempts on him and him, coming out unscarred, So I'm now inclined to say, we are dealing with a drama king here, who will take any situation whenever he's on a tight situation, whenever he's on a tight position, limelight. So the biggest implication right now we are faced with is Mnangagwa is going to get sympathy from the international community, from the regional community, and above all, from Zimbabweans themselves. They will just begin to feel sorry for him. But they want attention. Attention someone else. You will try to create something and he has been very successful those 4 times. They've worked to his advantage. And then the other implication is whether he did it himself or whether it was done by someone. We are going to see a situation where ZANU PF and Mnangagwa will take advantage of this and talk about security issues, security concerns, within ZANU PF, within Zimbabwe itself, and start saying, oh, wherever the president is going, they deploy soldiers. And that's how it will begin. Wotanga kuita masoja kurukwenda Mnangagwa, wotanga kuita masoja kuma streets, wotanga kuita masoja kuma villages. And the moment Zimbabweans, especially in rural areas, see soldiers in their area, I am telling you, people will get afraid. Those people are fiercer. I saw them myself in action in 2002. Vachituwinisa vanhu mumvura tinenge turi ngori murodhi motonzi tiwina ipapo takuona yamufamba muri vatatu imimi you are doing something. It's a meeting. Makutorohwa, makutotuwiniswa, makutoita sei. People in Zimbabwe fear soldiers, and we have seen soldiers beating people, doing everything that they want with ruthless impunity. So the moment the villagers are going to see soldiers, even if they don't do anything, it's just going to drive the fear of God into them. So I'm inclined also to say we might see the militarization of our villages, the militarization of our towns and cities, and you'll be taking advantage of this. And then the other implication will be it might be far-fetched, but I think we might even see an attempt on Nelson Chamisa's life himself, because now the president of the country, survived an assassination attack. Innocent lives have been lost of Zimbabwean citizens, and maybe other things will happen again. If you saw in Bulawayo today, there was a situation where the police had to come in, canisters were thrown. There was some kind of violence in Bulawayo. So if we continue to have 1, 2, 3 more of these kinds of violent situations, ZANU PF can take advantage of that and make an attempt on Chamisa's life. And I'm saying make an attempt. I don't think they would want to kill him, but they would just want to ruffle him a little bit. That if there was anything, if there was any deal that they had signed, any agreement of anything that maybe Chamisa is trying now to run away, from, which I strongly suspect, buoyed by the support that he's getting from Zimbabweans in the rural areas and wherever he's going. Even if it was myself, I would ask myself, why would I want a piece of cake when I can have the whole cake? So we can see a situation here where maybe if there were previous arrangements, and we see now Chamisa trying to move away from those arrangements and trying to just go it on its own and get it all. And also, there's pressure from the people. The people, really want Chamisa to be president, and they are seeing him as the next president. So the pressure from the people and what he's seeing, and maybe what people will be saying, can also, push Chamisa to just go all out and say, I don't want a unit government, I don't want anything, I just want to, get this. So we might have an attempt on Chamisa's life, and maybe the people concerned with this security, might want to, look into that. And I think they are looking into that as we are speaking, because you were supposed to be watching soccer yesterday, I think 2 days ago, when Nigeria was playing in Highfield, and I know that that event was cancelled on security ground. And then there's also the NPF Chamisa connection. It's also a little bit far-fetched, but we are seeing a situation here where Chamisa has gone to bed, or he has some kind of arrangement or agreement, judging by the NPF people who have been given seats, they have an agreement. And the first thing that we heard from ZANU PF was the people who could have done this are Mugabe or Grace Mugabe or NPF. And so what you call, and there's a friend, there's NPF, which is an enemy of ZANU PF now. And then we have Chamisa getting into bed with that enemy of ZANU PF, which automatically also makes him an enemy of ZANU PF. So if it eventually comes out that this bomb might have come from someone who is connected to Grace Mugabe or to NPF, I don't see, I don't know what the implication will be on Nelson Chamisa. But I also see a situation where ZANU PF is trying to do anything or to use anything to try and get to Nelson Chamisa or to try and stop Chamisa. But we are waiting to see what the investigations are going to come up with. But be it as it may, ZANU PF is going to take advantage of this. And right now, it's actually advantage Emerson Mnangagwa, because now you can see, you can say, oh, we created environment where the opposition is free, there are campaigning areas, no one is unleashing violence at them. In fact, the violence is actually on ZANU PF. So there is going to be, a lot of sympathy, and there's going to be, it's going to be an uphill task for us as opposition to try and say we did not win the election, or during the campaign we did not do ABC because there was a violent environment. Because the violent environment right now is actually on ZANU PF.
Thank you so much for that, Chief Sose. I'm going to teach.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm going to teach a video. Can you not send it to my personal WhatsApp?
I can.
Yeah, if you can do that, then I can disseminate it, because it looks like you're failing to put it per Skype.
Fine.
Yeah,
send it to mine as well.
Yeah, but if you do to my Skype, to my WhatsApp, I can quickly send it to people who wants it.
Okay, I'm sending it now.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now, Zimbabwe, for those that are just joining us, this is what we have. We're just trying to get to the bottom of what happened in Bulawayo there. Who could have been behind this? Who has got the capacity to hold a grenade in Zimbabwe there? And why did it happen in Bulawayo? Was it just a coincidence that it happened in Bulawayo? Why is it that mnangagwa, he's always there when these things happen, and he always come unscathed? This is the question. Sorry?
In Opam Chinguri.
Yes, and Opam Chinguri as well. So we are trying to discuss this. So if you're out there and you've got your own perspective of things, Mkoma Mandishona, I can see you're writing quite a lot per Skype, but please, you see, when you do participate in these kind of debates, guys, let's make it radio friendly as well. I mean, you can argue your case, but what you can disagree with people and say what this one is saying. I don't think it is right. The right thing is A, B, C, and D. For sure, I can read that to people out here. So you can do it on WhatsApp if you are our friends there. Simulate Main Radio is my my Skype, or you can do it on my WhatsApp group here. Number yacho right. Sekuru mulipera. Wow. Chief Sosemi Murinani Mune, your daughter who tells you what to do, because sometimes you see these Skypes, they need to be you need to upload a new one.
You need to update them.
Yeah, you need to update them. So the problem is Nana Sekuru, you know, I don't know he knows how to update it. So it becomes a problem now, and then the blame is always Kunokuma Studios, which is very fortunate. We always take it, even though it is not here. But anyway, we take it. Then Tatsuka will finish off this. Right. Right. Chimbopinda mshitoro zvakare actually. In fact, ndikaitanga nekupinda muchitoro nekuti tingadzingwe basa pana avandi. Right.
You're listening to Zimbabwe's finest radio station, broadcasting worldwide. Zimnet Radio, the people's choice. Make the whole world know about your business. Advertise with Zimnet Radio. Email marketing@zimnetradio.com.
Tune in every Friday. Elisha's Happy's Show from 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. It's your number one gospel show with your DJ, Dinte, on Zimnet Radio.
It is a Thursday, and you know what that means. It's a men's corner show with yours truly, DJ Sodza.
Mwana mwengangoda munhu wanoda kana uchida pati azvirambidzwe usaka vanhu vachivhota mabomba no wamturubudu ustaregonzi nanzi atichade mario kanetane uchema tererai munzwe vana vemuzimu upenyu one chance hazvina basa wakasimba unoenda kujimu zvekuputika kwemabhomba taisazviziva taizvionera mumafirimu kuda kuraya munhu wani mucharangarira paya makambomupa ice cream musadaro ngative neunity tinoda kubatana zvekuvengana ndazviramba ose tiri vana vamwari zvauya seiko zvekuputitirana mabhomba zvikanzi kuda mari Bulawayo ini kwenze njani makazara mustadiamu vanhu vakarivara rakadhuka bhomba vamwe vakakuvara neiko ungava kutonga mungarwire zvenyu kutonga tikudenga mwari ndivo vanotonga ndivo vakasika munhu kubva pakutanga vhunduka haikona kuvhomboka munhu ndewamwari hauziriwo akamusika saka yanadhura bhazuka endera dhuka vanhu vagweduka munhu mutema unodarireiko tinoda kubatana zvekuvengana ndazviramba ose tiri vana vamwari zvauya seiko zvekuputitirana mabhomba zvikanzi kuda mari Bulawayo ini twenze njani makazara mustadiamu vanhu vakarivara rakadhuka bomba vamwe vakakuvara neiko hakuna munhu anorambidzwa kuda munhu anoda kana iwo singamude usauraye munhu ida munhu waunoda nekuti tosaka kune mavhoti ngatisauraya nekubudisirana kuti tose tiri vanhu ngative neunity tererai munzwe vana vemuzimu upenyu one chance hazvina basa wakasimba unoenda kujimu zvekuputika kwemabhomba taisazviziva taizvionera mumafirimu kuda kuraya munhu wane mucharangarira paya makambomupa ice cream musadaro ngative neunity young Freddy tose tiri vana vamwari Amosi injero zvikanzi pidamari wamzvebhelefu webhunga adajaure jesu panekendre mabudu kurayana
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Yes, Zisine Muriye Zimbabwe, thank you so much for joining in. They are still tuning in. Mamuru Kupiko, where have you been? Remember, the show starts 10 p.m. UK time, you know, so don't be late next week. Come on time. Now, if you are just joining us there, I can see a lot of people are joining in now. What we are talking about is what happened in Bulawayo on Saturday, where there was, we are told that it was a terrorist attack there, and mnangagwa is not mincing his words. He came out fighting and he said that this was the G40 trying to topple him. Even before the investigation has been done, he's pointing fingers. And there's some are saying that, for a president to come out and point finger like that without concrete evidence, it is maybe unprofessional of him to do that. But anyway, if you want to participate, please, you know what to do. Get in touch, Nenikuno, then I can read your messages here as well. But maybe in Diri Papo, let me just read a few ones here that came through earlier on. As DJ Chinoshamisa Deshekuti, how lucky is Mnangagwa? He is the one who is so close to the blast, and look how far Mary Chiwenga was. Asindie Anonzi Akakuara. Really? Can someone open my eyes? Loads of questions to be answered by Garwe concerning the so-called blast in Bulawayo. This one is saying that to those who are saying it wasn't a bomb, what was it? I saw a hand grenade that was thrown. That is one of the guys there saying that. This one is saying that so the caller's point on the bombing is what? Sometimes you wish people answer the question first and explain later. I don't know now who that was, but anyhow, that's what it is. Another messages come through there, another messages there. Right, Mamasha Square. Right, Sekuru, are you back there? Alright, the blame is always on us, Sekuru. So, Sekuru, sorry? Right, so can you cannot hear me, Sekuru?
Izo ndinokumbokunzwa womboenda ndombokunzwa womboenda.
All right. Sekuru, all right. We have to move on. Okay, thank you. Right, Vapepe.
Yes.
Sekuru, one of my problems there. Would have to sort that at some other time because we have to move on here. But I don't know, man. And all the rest of it. I don't know. What's your conclusion of what we were talking about today? This now, Komatish seems to think it was actually a grenade which was thrown there. He sent me some really nice videos here that I'm going to disseminate to people as well. I mean, what's your conclusion to all this? Someone now is even saying that your man Chamisa might not be safe with all this.
Look, I think it reminds me good tea. That got bomba papa. I think whatever in a DJ, you remember good tea. ED aka offer security to my candidates, my presidential candidates. So it was like, given the situation you're going to wear, or he wanted to, to appear as a good Samaritan, to say the Zimbabwe politics is under attack. So, as a government, they've got a duty to protect my candidates, my presidential candidates, so they will give protection to those who need it.
This is well calculated, isn't it? But then,
yeah, but yes, this is where I'm going now.
Oh, okay.
Of course, we said no. Okay. And we I mean, if you look at it, it's a bit crafty, isn't it?
Yeah, and the guys ain't going off it. What is the multiplayer? Right. Okay. I think what I will do is let me drop Sekuru, and maybe that's where most of the problems is coming from. Okay, today so right. Okay. Whilst I'm waiting, what's your conclusion of what has been happening, what we're talking about today? What's your conclusion of it?
I couldn't say it's a conclusion. At the moment, the situation is very fluid. The Zimbabwean politics at the moment are very, very fluid. If you look just the coup alone, it disrupted the whole electoral process when various political parties were preparing for this election. Some actually disappeared. Yet once others disappeared, that way in the long run, and were part of all those consultative groups, new parties emerged. A lot of new parties emerged after the coup. And that tells you there's a lot that is going on. And why we're in this situation is something that needs to be looked into. And now, if you look at the issue as to the conclusion of the bomb, you see that the rumor now is that some police officers and members of the CIO have been arrested by the military. Meaning again, the military is ignoring the police who should be doing the arresting and squeezing and processing of any criminality that may have occurred. They've taken it upon themselves as a faction within a faction to deal with the issue, which tells you that Mnangagwa is the leader of ZANU PF, has failed to unite ZANU PF to a point that national security is now under threat because of the ZANU PF instability, internal ZANU PF instability. So I expect that the nation will have a lot of instability as a result of the power struggles that are ongoing in ZANU PF. You had the presidential spokesman George Jaramba saying that these issues are to do with unresolved ZANU PF leadership issues. Now, you wonder what he means when he says unresolved ZANU PF leadership issues. Did they have a Congress in December after they had coup in Mugabe? They had a Congress to choose new leaders, didn't they? So why should there be unresolved leadership issues? You see? So it's too open-ended in Goma. It's going to be fluid. It's going to be changing every day because new information is going to continue to be revealed every day.
Aiwa, zviri kunzikwa ndatenda zvangu. Mukoma Wilbert.
Hello.
I know you've always been advocating nyaya free and fair election and reforms and all the rest of it. But to conclude what happened in Bulawayo on Saturday, and also, I mean, from hearing what others are saying, what's your conclusion to all of it?
I think SADC are going to seriously have to review this issue of allowing ZANU PF to get away with another rigged election, because they did that in 2018, and 4 years later it led to the coup, and if they thought that the coup had finally resolved it, now we can see with the bombing and the instability within ZANU PF itself spilling over. I think it will spill over to the opposition, because if whoever is in the G40 realizes that by doing this, they're disrupting the whole political process, they're discrediting Mnangagwa, they will do it again. And this time they may pick the opposition, and they don't care that ordinary members of the public are caught in it. So this is what we are seeing. This power struggle in ZANU PF is not over by a long shot. And I think SADC are the ones who said in 2018 that these elections should not go ahead without implementing the democratic reforms to make sure that they are free, fair, and credible. Now they will be forced to revisit that and say, if we do not stop this, this is going to carry on, and it's going to get worse. And it's going to destabilize not only Zimbabwe, but the whole region. And I think Mnangagwa, he didn't have any choice in calling the various international countries and organizations to witness the Zimbabwe elections, because after the coup, he realized that his regime was illegitimate by any account. This issue of it was a military-assisted transition is nonsense. Everybody knows what a coup is, and that it is an act of treason, and therefore then his regime is illegitimate. So he was desperate to say to the world, whoa, I'll make this legitimate by holding free and fair elections. And now he is being called to question, and he's beginning to realize that he cannot deliver, even on the simple issue of that there will be no violence. And I think the G40 people who are keen to disrupt the whole thing because they've got their own quarrel to settle with Mnangagwa will be taking advantage of that. And they already don't do anything else. What happened on Saturday shows clearly that Zimbabwe is politically unstable. And to try to gloss over it and think that we can resolve it by pretending that Mnangagwa will sort it out is being naive. So I believe that the international community, come 31st of July, day after the elections, I think most of them will find themselves in a situation where they've got to say, well, we know these elections were not free and fair. We know that pretending that they were is not solving Zimbabwe's problem. And therefore, then the only logical thing to do is to say, they were not free and fair. Let's go back to 2008 and implement the reforms that we agreed at that time. And that is the only way Zimbabwe is going to get out of this mess.
Aiwa, Thank you so much, Koma Wilbert, for that. And Skusiwa Teterozi, I mean, what's your concluding words on this? Also, taking into account what other people have said. And also, I wanted you to comment on, I didn't know about the revelation that Mnangagwa offered all opposition parties some security, in the wake of what happened in Bulawayo. Teteros, you want to take on?
No, well, Mnangagwa offering security to opposition, that has to be the joke of the century. Kutavaita say, hands on how to actually kill them or infiltrate them more than he's already doing. I mean, to me, that's just a joke. I wouldn't take the security even if I needed it. And I know probably Chamisa needs the security, but I wouldn't take security from Mnangagwa any day. I'll just say no. I think that's just a ploy to infiltrate and to find a way to figure out what's going on in opposition and to deal with opposition if he needs to, when the time comes. So that to me, I mean, I'm hoping Chamisawacho said no and didn't fall for it. I don't know. I didn't hear that part. I don't know what Mr. Pepe said. If the opposition said no. But in conclusion to all of this, honestly, there is not going to be a free and credible election in Zimbabwe the way things look right now. It's just not going to happen. And what's really disappointing to me, I think to me the British are the most disappointing. Their stance, the way they're behaving, is really very disappointing for a bunch of people who claim to be Democrats. Upon a democracy, whatever deal they made with ED, they need to realize that, what, Zimbabwe does not belong to them or ZANU PF. Zimbabwe belongs to Zimbabweans who deserve a free and fair election, who deserve to see the voters roll before the UK sees the voters roll. I mean, at this point, and I've always been like pro-Western country. But at this point, you need to really piss us off at this point. They need to mind their own business when it comes to this. If they're going to be advocates, they need to be fair advocates who are advocating for free and fair elections in Zimbabwe. Because them supporting the rigging, and in the suspect, that's what I'm beginning to suspect, because I don't understand exactly how the British are involved in all of this. But what are they after, really? Do they not think Zimbabweans deserve free and fair elections, or that we as Africans are not entitled to freedom? Or it's the freedom they think we deserve, what they deem necessary. And that's one of the things, to be honest with you, that's really been pissing me off. Do these people not see Zimbabwe is not going to be a stable political country as long as people keep rigging elections? Zimbabweans need their freedom. We need the country to move forward, and we cannot have people going in and trying to stage manage everything to give away. I honestly don't understand what ED promises them or what they want to get out of this situation. It's very confusing. But that's one of the things that's really pissing me off. And as for that, Anonzani Priscilla Chigumba, that woman needs someone to. I honestly, she pisses me off. I heard her talking, the level of arrogance. I heard that woman, I actually thought of that, and I'm a non-violent person, but I wanted to step in and just slap her across the face. You know what? Get away, man. Do you think you own Zimbabwe? The arrogance, the level of arrogance. And then Vandanzani Kubani Moyo was writing on Facebook. Facebook, and if you get a proper voter, and I'll eat myself. I was like, who are these people from ZEC, and who the hell do they really think they are? That they think they can be so arrogant, that they can say anything they want to Zimbabwe. And we're supposed to just sit back and say, okay. And that same Kubani Moyo is the same person who left NBC and Yanude a few years back and said he was joining ZANU PF and felt the country was in better hands if they were in ZANU PF. So what is that person even doing in ZAC? How can someone like that even, he's the one in charge of modalities with opposition, with opposition parties discussions. What do you discuss with somebody who's already telling you, the country is in better hands with ZANU PF, and if we even give you a proper voters roll, I will eat myself. Hapana zvakadaro zviri kuitika. And that is a public official who's supposed to be serving the people, who's supposed to be neutral. He can't even be neutral per Facebook. The thing is, in Zimbabwe, civil servants, they're working for Zimbabweans. They're so confused about their role. They actually think that they're in charge. And what I hope for in Zimbabwe, if these elections don't work, is Zimbabweans will finally rise and drag these people on the streets out there. Because it's sad, Kuti. This is where we are, where people just say and do what they want, and they really don't understand, Kuti. You know what? Zimbabwe is the enemy mega. You listen to these people, you listen to Mutangwa Ajitauro, does he own the country? Who do these people think they are? To me, that is what really pisses me off. ZANU PF Kwandiri, there will be never free elections with ZEC or with ZANU PF, and SADC needs to step in, someone needs to step in. But let's just be honest with ourselves. Hakuna free and fair election in Zimbabwe. Hakuna. Because in a free and fair election, ZANU PF has no chance in hell of winning that election. And they know it. And if they win an election, it's because they rigged it. And that's just the bottom line. Hakuna kunzanzi free and fair. And if the British are going to endorse a rigged election, then we have to question ourselves, Guti. Saka, what is their moral ground here? Their moral ground. You're just as bad as ZANU PF.
Right.
What is wrong with you?
Okay, thank you so much, Mareza. A very good question. The British seems to be siding with Mnangagwa for what reason we don't know, but that's a story for another day. Kuna Mkoma Benford. Mkoma Benford, what's your conclusion of the story we're talking about today in a grenade rakakandwa ku Bulawayo?
Yeah, DJ Sodza, there are a few points and ndingada kuita panapo. Tanzwa vapebve vachiti they denied security yavakanga vaprovidwa. To him it sounded like it's
not provided but was offered.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's very unfortunate that we are in that situation where we don't trust our security forces. Anywhere in the world, even in US, when they have my elections, our presidential candidates are provided state security. Inaenda ichiingiriza as the race progresses to the extent yokuti by the day I'm my elections unenga watu are almost covered. I remember Obama itaura kuti as soon as it was announced kuti wangato it pointed to him winning, vakatozwa kunzi we are taking over completely, security yake ikatonzi makuenda aside, but they had increased that over time paakanga achita build because Zhinema implications are long lasting. Like I said here, imagine what happened to Mnangagwa here. Imagine if it was Chamisa. Or imagine tomorrow Chamisa is having a rally in Gokwe, a grenade is thrown and Chamisa is killed. The impact that it is going to have on Zimbabwe, in generations to come, it means we will be taken back in terms of not just democracy in Zimbabwe, but in terms of my livelihoods, 30 or 50 years back. So, while it's the thing that they're doing a good job by denying that security, if anything happens to Chamisa, then let them not cry foul. And it will be very, very sad because it would mean that
Right, can you be very clear there, Mkoma Benford? You're saying Kutinini, Vanachamisa should have accepted this security detail.
What I'm saying is, since we don't know at the moment who tried to assassinate Mnangagwa, we don't know the motives of that individual or that group of people, Kanaware group. One of the easiest way they could do is to do anything on Chamisa, because then it's going to throw the whole process, becomes chaotic. And let's not forget that what we are dealing with in this election, my lives Evan. What excites me about this election is I know whatever the outcome, if Chamisa wins, we are better as a country. If Mnangagwa wins this election, we are still going to be better. As long as tighter election in the environment here. If we are going to stop this election because of political violence, then it becomes chaotic. Okay? Because no one will be sure of what's going to take place. No investor will come. And it means we are denying our brothers and sisters jobs back home. And the suffering continues. Now, a few other points here. Some people have been questioning why Mnangagwa escaped the bombing, asina any injury or stuff like that. Ndosaka security magads ake aripo. From what Teach posted here, and what he described, if it was a grenade, once Ndosaka, one of the aides, akatora that grenade, and akatora that weight yours. The other ones, their role is to protect the president. So they probably sacrifice their own injuries to save Mnangagwa. And that should be normal, or there should be nothing amiss about that. My last point about this election, which is worrying to me, is it appears to some of us it is only going to be credible, it is only going to represent the wishes of the people if the opposition wins. And that might, kind of, notion is very, very wrong. It will still be the people's wish, even if Mnangagwa wins. Whoever is going to win this election, it is the wish of the people of Zimbabwe. Now, those of us who have been honest, I followed a few people. One example I usually give is a lady called Savannah Madamwombe, who used to be very, very critical of ZANU PF. And apparently, yes, she has been in Zimbabwe since January. If you follow what she has been saying on Facebook, and she also broadcast live, she will tell you that there is so much peace. The people in the rural areas and everywhere in Zimbabwe, they are having a discussion, political discussions, very free. And she has now changed her mind. She feels that, and she's on the ground, she feels that this will be a free and fair election. So when we are here, some of us have made their minds, if you look at people like Wilbert, he has already made his mind that this is, not going to be free and fair. I don't even know how these people propose that ZEC should be constituted. How do you select people who get to form ZEC? They have to be Zimbabweans, and they have to be selected by by someone for them to be ZEC. And so that is what I'm going to say. At the forefront, my message to us as Zimbabweans, before we make my statements of Zimbabwe is not stable, which is going to prevent investors from coming, let's think about our brothers and sisters. At times, we are so obsessed by certain individuals leading the country at the expense and of our own people.
Right. Okay.
Can I just make a quick comment there?
Yeah.
I find it really disappointing that here is somebody like Benford. He has been in America, I don't know how many years, and he seems to be an intellectual with, and yet he doesn't seem to know what free, fair, and credible elections are. I think this is really disappointing. You want to tell me if you have got no free media, the elections will still be free and fair? You want to tell me that when you don't have a verifiable voters roll, it can be still free and fair? When you want to tell me that ZANU PF is having billions of dollars looted from the poorest of the poor in the country to finance and bankroll its election campaign, that is free and fair. I can't believe it. I'm really, DJ, I've got to say this, I'm really disappointed by some of our own Zimbabweans who pretend to care about the ordinary person when in reality they don't. These elections cannot be free, fair, and credible when you do not have free media, when you do not have a verifiable voters roll, when millions of people have been denied the vote by virtue of the fact that the voters registration exercise itself was delayed unnecessarily. Why did it start in September last year when it could have started as far back as even January 2015 at the very latest. Why? Because we know Gabi wanted to do that.
Can I just add one thing, DJ? Just
it
one.
Looks like now we are digressing into this argument now. Okay, go ahead.
Just one thing. And for someone to actually say Kuti Chamisa should accept security from the security forces, this is not, and compare that security to American security. The American security, military and everything are not part of a particular party. In Zimbabwe, we all know the military belongs to ZANU PF. They're not an independent body. It's like they're abused as a state, as a function, an extension of ZANU PF. So to try and compare a country like the United States to what's going on in Zimbabwe is either very naive or just really just plain politics to try and discredit something that we all know very well would never work in a country like Zimbabwe.
Right. Okay. I'm really sorry. You've had your say. That's okay. Yeah, the problem is we need to ask one. Sally, please, your conclusion. I'm running out of time again here. Can you be quick with your response, Sally, please?
Look, I agree 1,000% with Sekuru and Titch. They just said it eloquently and more educated than what I did. I'm very worried about the meaning of the whole bombing grenade thing, whatever. Okay. As to telling the truth about what's happening in Zimbabwe, investors aren't stupid, Benford. A man with money, lots and lots of money, okay, that's going to invest in a country, goes and finds out, okay? So your little thing of pushing problems into a cupboard and closing a door and pretending that all is hunky-dory and roses are falling out the sky and we've all got Zimbabwean dollar and everything, please grow up, okay? Okay, thank you, everybody. Have a great week.
Okay, that's fine, Sally. Thank you so much for that quick and sweet.
ndine urombo ndekunoku hameno yaita problem.
And thanks very much for blaming yourself there, rather than Sekuru, who always blames it on me.
Yeah. So zvanari taura ndezvekuti as a party takaoffer security and then we refuse because look, problem in there, my internal fights has nothing to do with the opposition, and as far as we are concerned, it's just we are riding at the top crest of support Yevan, and we are a people-driven political party. So the people who make a decision, is even Muswa 30 July. So yes, look, if Zimbabweans pakaita mistake yokuti tidzorere ED nejunta yake, then I can see the country becomes ungovernable. The same people try to assassinate, I don't see them stopping. Actually, they will be more daring if they are going to have another 5 years. Mind you, this infighting is only about 8 months in power. What more 5 years? I can see the country being totally ungovernable, and I can see Zimbabwe being a scenario like Somalia. Do we want to go there? I'm sure nobody wants to, even one ZANU PF. So here is a lesson. I'm glad to talk about situation at Tiri before the election date, which is the 30th July. Zimbabweans, they need to make an informed decision based on the climate of fear that is prevailing. I just hope that ED will not make that excuse, make the excuse you get to roll out the army, which I'm beginning to believe that judging from reports coming on the ground, there's been a new movement, the army, into strategic positions. 6,000 from Masvingo are being transferred to Nyanga for whatever reasons. I don't know whether you've seen video anga itendera ye army anga ikimba ikiti kana tasumudzwana baba kubva kuno kuinyanga icha nhorondo. I don't know whether you've seen that. So there are quite a lot of developments that are a bit worrying as we prepare for the elections.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Wapepe. That's one Chief Soshe there. Chief Soshe, time Zamanga Panapa, very little time left. I don't know your closing remarks.
DJ, we are. I think we should take note of the fact that we are dealing with a very ruthless and very desperate regime here. And as you are seeing, Mnangagwa is trying everything. He's grappling at everything, trying to solicit, public and international sympathy, in a way to justify whatever he's doing or whatever he's going to do. So I will repeat again what I said in the beginning, that I really fear for Chamisa's life, and I think the people who are concerned, with making his arrangements when he goes to rallies and everything, should really step up his security. These people are desperate. Of course, that will remain a last resort, but I'm telling you, ZANU PF is cornered. They are going to do anything to ensure that they remain in power. Now, in the face of what happened in Bulawayo, I always want to, optimist. I always want to remain hopeful. What should we do as Zimbabwe? Yes, we have to watch what the enemy is doing, but at the same time, let us not be preoccupied by what is happening in the enemy's camp. Let's focus on what we have to do. If you look at previous elections, yes, the voters' roll has been the biggest rigging mechanism used by ZANU PF. But if you also analyze the results of the 2013 election, you will see that over 5,000 people, 5 million people registered to vote, but only about 3-point-something million ended up going to vote, which means over 1 million people, close to 2 million people registered to vote, but stayed away from going to vote. So that's also one of the tools that ZANU PF used to rig elections, encouraging voter apathy. How do they encourage voter apathy? They cause commotion, they cause problems in the opposition party, to the extent that even the most loyal supporters in that opposition party will be doubting their own leaders, they'll be doubting their own opposition party, and they'll be deeming them useless. They might be useless to a certain extent, but they cannot be useless to an extent that we end up voting for ZANU PF. So what I'm saying is we should remain focused and make sure that from now on, we forget about what happened in Bulawayo. That's ZANU PF's issue. Let them sort it alone. Us as opposition supporters, let's marshal our supporters. Let's do everything that we have to do. Launch massive voter education campaigns so that the more than 5 million people, close to 6 million people who registered to vote, actually go and register, actually go and vote on the 30th. Because if they don't go, then we are in trouble. And that's exactly what ZANU PF wants. It's very difficult to rig an election where there is a mass turnout, where there is a large turnout. So all I can do now is to encourage Zimbabweans, wherever they are, those who registered, go home and vote. Those who are in Zimbabwe, go and vote. Don't be discouraged by the current situation. Our current situation, cannot determine what will happen tomorrow. We have to take whatever is happening today as motivation for us to go and cast our vote and remove junta, whichever way possible. Because right now, whatever we can do, there's nothing else that we can do except to go and vote. Nomination is closed. We have our candidates. We have the candidates that are out there. And the best foot forward right now, the best person who can win Zimbabwean election is Chamisa. So the best thing that we can do is to support him and go and vote and encourage everyone in Zimbabwe to go and vote.
All right. Thank you so much. Sekuru Muchiripoira. Sekuru. Right.
Handiripo but zviri kugaga ainda mberi takaterera zviri magakira cho.
All right. Zvisinei mhuri yeZimbabwe ndozvazvinoita. It's exactly midnight. It's exactly midnight kuno kuUnited Kingdom. Zvatinoita panapa chirongwa chanhasi chinoperera pano. We will be back right here next week doing what we do every Thursday. Tichikupai chimwe chechikamu chechirongwa. I'm hoping that right, tomorrow is a difficult day for me. I'll try and sort out the podcast for you, and also Sally will sort the YouTube podcast probably by Saturday to be ready. Zvisinei, please do take care of yourself and your loved ones. Ndokusera makaterera kambo kubva kana tichiko kamba, God knows. Kwanziko give Chamisa a chance. It's not the DJ who's saying give Chamisa a chance. Kambo kanda puwa kuno kuma studios kuti ndiridze Zimbabwe. There you have it. We'll see you next week. Do take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
Diani wakanganisa panakanganisa Diani wakanganisa panakanganisa Diani wakanganisa panakanganisa Diani wakanganisa panakanganisa Kanganisa, Divuti akanganisa, Difundo akanganisa, Chimaya akanganisa, Chamisa mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga. Regayo mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga. Walking is more, Chamisa is unstoppable. Masakada ganganisa, Maimaguni maganganisa, Machinja ganganisa, Chachoka ganganisa, Vamanasa ganganisa, Limbaina limbo ganganisa, Ipovo ya ganganisa, Chamisa mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga, Chamisa mbotonga, Regayo mbotonga.
vakanganisa jesina kifi vakanganisa vasvitsai vakanganisa chovisa umbavha hwanyanya umbavha hwanyanya urombo hwanyanya toenda naye toenda naye.
This is a disclaimer. The opinions expressed by contributors during radio call-in shows are solely those of the individual callers and do not reflect the opinions of Zimnet Radio, DJs, presenters, managers or administration. Listeners are encouraged and advised to seek the services of qualified professionals for their personal problems.
In touch with the best online station, Zimnet Radio.
Yes, master.